wrong button. This is the inbound marketing webinar that you signed up to attend. And for those of you who are not familiar with the term inbound marketing, it also goes by the term content marketing or social media marketing. Effectively, it's generating good material in a social sphere such that people can see that, respond to it, link or click on a link of it, and then end up at your site. So effectively, you create something that's really, really good. People find it and they come to you. That's inbound marketing. Your content does your marketing for you. When people leave comments and interact on your website, that turns it into a social aspect. So it becomes a medium where you publish, and it's social, hence the word social media. And it does marketing for you. It is not social networking. This is not Facebooking and Twittering and that sort of thing. Those are different kinds of activities. Those are not social media. Those are social networks. I draw a distinction there. So to give you a little bit of context, I taught a class earlier this year, February this year, and it went on for about 3 months to an MBA level class at a graduate school downtown San Jose. We had 50 plus students. Some came, some dropped out. There were 70 students enrolled. 10 didn't show up, 10 quit, and 10 I had to throw out. So we ended up with about 40 students. And I gave them homework assignments, said go off and do this, and you'll see traffic come to your website. Well, it worked. I'll show you some numbers here in a bit. Then I took the very same class, the very same assignments, and I gathered non-MBA students, just local business people. And we put them in a room, and we've been doing this for about 3 weeks. And we meet here on the West Coast. There are some people. There's one woman in Florida who watches the recordings. There's another fellow in Southern California. He watches the recordings. And so we have participants from all over the country, and they're doing the very same homework, the very same assignments that I gave to the MBA students. So I wanted to see if I can get business people to get the same results that MBA students got. And the theory is, not the theory, but they should be able to. If you just do the work, it'll work, kind of a thing. And so the class is 3 weeks old, and you're seeing the top 5 sites in the Inbound Marketing University course with Belew in Silicon Valley. That's me here in Silicon Valley. And there's the class. After 3 weeks in, DianaSimons.com has had 488 visitors in the last 3 weeks. She's had 657 page views, and 300 of those unique visitors have come to her via search engines. That's Bing and Google and Yahoo and Dogpile and those such things. In other words, people are beginning to find her. She writes stuff. I encourage you to go to billblue.com and click on blog, and then you can go to the top 5 sites. You can look at these individually and see what they're doing. And then M. Procopio, this is Michael Procopio. That just happens to be the name of his site. In just 3 weeks, he's already had 288 unique visitors, 1,500 page views. Look at that. And 136 of them came via search. So Diana writes about her faith. Mike writes about social media and being a consultant. And in just 3 weeks from zero, Diana, out of all fairness, she didn't start from zero. So she had a little bit of a history to begin with, but Mike starting from zero, he had 136 136 visitors. So people are searching him, finding him and his topic. They're clicking on his pages, 280. That's like, 6 to 7 page views per visit. That's really good. In other words, he must have something really good, because when people land, they click through and read and read and read. And then here's MiaMay.com. This little girl's 5 years old, and she's participating. She's had the most visitors and the most page views, but not from search. Okay, I'll tell you the truth. This is my daughter, and she's 5 years old. She has a website. It's called How I Learned to Be Me. I'll show it to you. There it is, How I Learned to Be Me, and she writes about who's Mia May, and there's her blog site, and she writes about Michelle Kwan. She's a little Chinese girl, and her mother's Chinese and her dad's American. So she writes about growing up bilingual, bicultural, that sort of thing. And she has a good forum following, so that's why she's gotten so many page views in such a short time. Over the course of the 16-week class, what we really want is to watch search visitors go up. because when she's in a forum, she has to work in the forum. You have to go to the forum. You have to say, hello, everybody. This is me, and here's my stuff. That's called push marketing. That's called outbound. She has to go somewhere, do something, and say, hey, come look. That would be the same for Diana, Mike, or Silas, or the others. But what you really want is just to be able to generate good content on your website and have that be found. That's inbound. That's much more passive, and it's much more effective than saying, hey, go look. It's more effective to say, to write good stuff and people find it than it is for you to try and get people to do things. That's the heart of inbound marketing. But after 3 weeks, Mia Maith has 117 people searched out and come to her website. Silas, this is Tyler, writes about technology. He's a redneck. He's from Northern California, up north of Davis, up Redding, in that area. So he's a redneck Californian, but lives here in Silicon Valley. So he's got a real combination of things going on. And Tyler writes good stuff. And you can tell it's good because he's got 4 page views for every visit. That's good. Mia's about 3 per 1, and Mike's 6 per 1, and Diana's about 1.5 per 1. You want to get more page views than you get visits. And then, number 5 is Josie. She writes about cutting boards, and she's getting almost 9 per visit. So these students are working. They're writing good content. Their content's being searched. You can see the numbers. They're being found. People are visiting, and they're turning pages. That's what content marketing is all about. Now, one of the biggest challenges of content marketing is, what am I going to write about for so long? What am I going to say so much about? I write about cutting boards, or I write about growing up, or whatever. How am I going to come up with so many things to write about? I mean, you have to write a lot. You have to write enough in order for the search engines to find you. You can't write 1 article, 6 articles, 16 articles and call it a day. You have to write a lot of stuff. Now, the number of what you have to write depends on your goals, and I can talk more specifically about that at some point, but that's beyond the scope of this particular webinar. In fact, we drill down on that very specifically in the classes. But I want to give you an example of how to come up with stuff to write about. And that's always a challenge. If I have to write a lot, what do I say so much of? So this last week, I was in Bangkok at the invitation of the Hospital Management Asia was the name of the conference. And what they were is a bunch of hospital managers all got together and talked about hospital management. And they invited me to come to talk about marketing, social media marketing for hospitals. I'm not a doctor. I don't manage a hospital. I don't know anything about hospitals. And I don't want to know, because the more you know about hospitals, the more time you have spent there, or you work there. And I don't work there, so I haven't spent a whole lot of time there. And so I just kind of put my thinking cap on to see if I could come up with a way to help these folk find stories or find content. So in addition to teaching them the whole concept of inbound marketing, and inbound marketing equals content, equals being found, equals people come and they become customers because they were looking for you. And so they say, okay, well, content, where do we get our content? What do we write about? This is one of the first questions people ask, one of the hardest challenges that people face. And so I went to I put on my hospital healthy cap to see if I couldn't come up with some ideas. So I'm going to show you just the first few of the slides that I gave at that show, and you'll see how you can come up with content ideas or things to write about. So the topic was how good marketing can add to your bottom line, or how good marketing can add to your hospital or department bottom line was the topic I was given. So think. And I thought this was an interesting point. The more sick people that come to a hospital, the healthier the hospital is. Isn't that kind of, okay, I thought it was funny. So the more sick people that come, the healthier the hospital can be. And I tried to make the point very clearly. People are not just numbers. No, they're not just numbers. We're trying to match needs with providers. If a patient has a need and the hospital has the right tools to provide for that patient, it's a good match. We're not just trying to milk people for money. That goes without saying, but I said it anyway. So more patients, a healthier bottom line. But there are 4 ways to get patients. They wander in. Somebody brings them by an ambulance. The doctor sends them, or they go looking for it. And more and more and more people are looking for hospitals. They don't like their doctor, they don't like the diagnosis, they don't like whatever they're hearing, so they're going and looking for an alternative. Now, you can insert patient, you can insert the word customers. These are different ways you can get people to get into your store. The customer wanders in there, street traffic. The customer comes via ambulance. We would call that referral. Someone told the customer to go there, and so he or she showed up. Or they were prescribed to go there. Hey, they go there directly because someone said they wanted to go there. That's called direct traffic. And the last one, the patient is searching out, or the customer is searching out for their need. Well, in this case, they're searching out. They have a need, and they're searching out for a solution to that need. Well, here in this case, it's patients. So I told them where the patients are going, why they're going there, how they found the hospital, and how I know these things. So what I want to go over here, and this is where patients are going. If these hospitals can know where their would-be patients are already going, they can go to those same places and learn why people are going there. So if all the medical tourists are going to ABC country, well, let's go to ABC country's website and find out what is so appealing to them. That becomes a great study. So you want to know where patients or customers are going. Then you want to know why they're going there. So what is it that they have in that ABC country that my country doesn't have? What is it that ABC business has that my business does not have? And let's see if I can't provide the same thing. Once again, it's a great study. And then how they found that hospital. What did patient A put into a search box in order to find ABC hospital? What are the terms they're using? And if I know that, then I can know what things I want to create, what kind of content I want to write about, so that when somebody puts it in a search engine box, they're going to find me. So if I know where, and I know why, and I know what they're using to search or how they're finding it, that's great stuff. I mean, that's powerful stuff. If I know the answer to those questions, I can multiply where patients by why they, by how they, and I get multiple variables of things to write about. So that was my premise going into the conference there. So the top medical tourism destinations, right? These are where I told the hospital. I researched this, of course, and so I didn't just pull this out of my sizable backside. I got online and did some research, and not in popularity order, but they're in ABC order. So the top 10 destinations for people to go for hospitals is Brazil, Costa Rica, India, Korea, Malaysia, Mexico, Singapore, Taiwan, Thailand, Turkey, and surprisingly, it's not in the top. Well, it might be in the top 10, but one of the top 11, at any rate, tourism destinations for medical reasons, and of course, is the United States. People still come here, despite the cost or the obstacles or whatever. And again, now that my hospital marketing managers, this is the group I'm addressing, say, listen, write these 11 countries down, and let's start doing some research. These are the top destinations. What is it about Brazil? What is it about Costa Rica? What is it about Taiwan, Singapore? What is it about these countries that make them great medical tourist destinations? The more you know about that, the more they can prepare their own websites for the kind of content they want to put on there, because that's what people are looking for. They already want to go there. Well, suppose you have a hospital in I want to say Indonesia, and your Indonesian hospital could almost compete with Brazil, but you're not in the top 10 here. Well, let's go to Brazil's websites and find out, what is it appealing there, and let's see if we can address that on our Indonesian website, such that when people search, wow, they're going to say, well, they're searching for Brazil. Oh, look, here's an Indonesian site. Well, they offer the same service, and they offer the same everything. They have the same up-to-date technology. They have they got the same medically trained people. They went to the same hospitals. They trained at the same schools in America or the UK where everybody else trained. So Indonesia and Brazil, all things are equal, except Indonesia's cheaper. Wow. You see, they can write about that sort of thing, and then they begin to compete in the search sphere. Their content begins to compete in the search engine. So knowing these 10 countries, these 11 countries, I try to emphasize to them is gold. So for the customer or for you all here on the webinar, my challenge to you is, who are the top 10 businesses that you would be competing with? Who are they? Where are they? What are they? What, what is it about them that people really like? And the more we know about that, the more I know what to address on my website. So here's why they go there. Well, this would be interesting. The reason people go to Brazil or Thailand or Turkey is because they're governments, and they have government and private sector investment. They've got money. They've got resources. They're able to provide for that customer or that patient. Well, that's good to know. And then they got accreditation. They got, quality assurance, transparency, these sort of things. We just call that mojo. They got moxie. They got credibility. So what kind of credibility do you have compared to your 8, 9, 10 different competitors? If you can now credible yourself to them and write about that on your website, you'll become visible, and they'll say, oh my goodness, this person is better than who I was looking for. I should go there instead. And then your content begins to win for you. They have international patient flows. They already have customers. Why do they have these customers already? Where are their customers already coming from? Well, the more I know that about my customers, about my competitors, the better I can address it on my own site. Those countries save money. Well, how much do they save? Can you save your customers money, more money than your competitor can save them? So you see where I'm headed here. I got 10 reasons why and 10 places to go. So already I have 10 times 10 things to write. I can write about each one of these reasons for Brazil, each one of these reasons for Costa Rica, each one of these reasons for Turkey, for Thailand, and then I can compare them to myself. So I can write about each one of these 10 reasons for the competitor A and compare them to my own services that I offer, and I just write about that on my websites, and I can start winning in the content marketing wars. Political transparency and social stability. There you go. Excellent tourism infrastructure. These hospitals are already set up for people to come, and they have a reputation for clinical excellence. Let's look at their testimonials, right? So you have testimonials. Can your testimonials beat out the testimonials of your competitors? That's stuff to write about. Innovation, achievement history. What has your competitor A accomplished? What's competitor B accomplished? What have you accomplished in comparison to that? Wow, there might be 10 for each of these 10. Or you might have 10 testimonials or 20 testimonials for each of these. You might have, in your history, you might have 10, 12, 20 things you've done that are of note. And so what happens is I have 10 destinations, I have 10 reasons, and then each of my reasons have 10 subpoints. So I got 10 times 10 times 10. Well, that's 10 times, that's 100, that's 1,000. I already have 1,000 different things that I could write about. Wow. So where am I going to get content? Well, I just came up with 1,000 things I could write about, and I'm only on number 8 and number 9. Best practices, what do you do? How do you do it? Your state of the art, what's your resources, what's your gadgets, what's your gizmos and your widgets? And of course, they have internationally trained staff. So now that I know which of my customers people are going to, and I know why they're going to, and I know some of the sub-reasons of why they're going to, I can start writing about that on my website and how I can outperform them in any of those areas and any of those destinations. So it just happens to be, I wanted to show them this. There are 8 million cross-border patients. Who didn't know? Who did think? 8 million people go across borders because, they're sick and they think it's cheaper or something over there. They'll spend $3,000, $3,000 to $5,000. $24 billion to $50 billion. That's supposed to be $40 billion. I got my math wrong. And there are 900,000 Americans in 2013. So knowing who your customers are, knowing who your demographics are, researching your demographics, and then writing your content to appeal to that demographic, that's golden. Holy cow, how could you not have so many things to write about with your service or your customer or your business compared to your competitors? Okay, the savings, look, here's how much you can save. Brazil, Costa Rica, India, Korea, Malaysia, Mexico, Singapore, Taiwan, Turkey. You can save money by going to those places. Well, how many different products do you offer? How many different consulting service levels do you offer? Or what is it that you do that you want to beat out competitor A or B in, and how much can you save, or how much better can you do your job than they do? And so you write about each of those different services you have compared to each of your different customers, and this is how much I can save you. So now I got savings in 4 or 5 or 10 different products. So I've got 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. I got 10 destinations. I got 10 reasons. and I got 10 subpoints for each of those 10 reasons. Now I got 10 ways to save on 10 different products. Wow. Are you getting the idea? This is how you come up with content in order to write enough on your website so that people can find you online. And then here's what people search for. All right. So I got 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 is 100, 1,000, 10,000. Now I got 8 searches. So that's 10,000 times 10 up to 100,000. Okay, I got 100,000 different things I can write about. Except here's the reason why people go. Cosmetic surgery. Well, how many different kinds of cosmetic surgery are there? There's another 10. Times 10 times 10 times 10. And then there's dentistry. How many things can go wrong with your mouth, right? Cardiovascular. How many things can go wrong with your heart or your cardiovascular system? And orthopedics. How many limbs do you have? And how many things can go wrong with them, right? And how many different kinds of cancers? And how many reproductive problems? You get the idea. How many ways are there to lose weight? And then finally, how many second opinions can you get? How many reports are run and you don't like the results and you want to take it somewhere and get a second opinion? So what I have here is what I've tried to articulate here. You know, these are just hospitals. You know, wow, that's a good market. They got lots of ideas. Well, this same thing can almost work in almost any niche. So destinations, reasons, the sub-reasons of those different reasons, the searches of those different searches, the money savings on the different levels, and just multiply that out, and you should never run out of things to write about. And if you have that much stuff to write about and you put that on your website and you let your content go to work for you, you will be found. People will search you. My students are already doing that. I showed you that at the beginning. You will be found when they search these for something, cost savings on cosmetic surgeries for government-funded companies in Brazil. Right? When they search that out, they're going to find Brazil, but they're also going to find you because you're writing that you can do it better than Brazil, so you've used the right keywords. You see, when you provide this kind of quality content on your topic in your area versus your competitors that reach out to your demographic, you will be found. And when you are found, there's a call to action button. People push that button, they fill it out, and they call you up or they leave you contact form. That's what inbound marketing is, providing solid content so that people will search you out, find you, leave you their contact information, and the next step is yours, sales. I can get people to take a look at you, but you have to sell it to them. I can't sell your stuff because you might not be any good. I don't know. That's my spiel, and I'm sticking to it. Does that make sense? Coming up with content is always a challenge. Here's 10,000 things I can write about just in the hospital sphere. And there again is the top 5. Go to billblue.com, click on blog. This is the latest post up there, I think. And click on blog, and you got the top 5 sites in inbound marketing. These are what my students, after just 3 weeks, are doing. When you go there, you can go all the way down. I can show you my MBA class. This is back in February, March earlier this year. And after 3 weeks, after 3 weeks, this is what their students were. This is Soccer Roundup had 199, UI Design 193. You can see what kind of page views they're getting. Colored Spirit, Genie 775. Wow. All right. So there you go. That's my inbound marketing spiel and ideas for today. If you have any questions, please drop them in the question box. I'll be glad to address them. If not, I'm going to stop recording and you can listen to this again. I would like to point out, for what it's worth, if you go to billblue.com and you, at the very top, click on IMU, we have an ongoing class, and you're welcome to jump into the class. It's not free. I gave a lot of stuff away for free for a while. I'm not doing that anymore. Well, I do sometimes. The class started on August 21st, but all the classes are being recorded, so anybody can jump in at any time. We got well over a dozen students participating. The goal in doing it with other students is you have camaraderie, you have accountability, and you have a network, and you have the ability to find people immediately to link to you and to guest blog on each other's site. So I encourage you, if you're interested in inbound marketing, if you're interested in building your website and getting real traffic, go to billblue.com Inbound Marketing University, contact us, or call me up, or leave me an email, or buy now and show up, and we'd be welcoming you if you're on the West Coast, if you're in Orlando, you're not going to be here this Wednesday, I'm pretty sure, or tomorrow. So that's my spiel, and I'm sticking to it. If there are no questions, so how long does it take to build traffic? Well, I mean, legitimate. How long? I don't want to be vague, but it depends on how much, how often you update your websites. If you update your website once a week, you're never going to get anybody. I mean, you might get somebody sooner or later, but updating your website once a week and expecting to get lots of search engine traffic, you're dreaming. Now, I have a friend who lives in Seattle. He writes about Chinese law, and he's really good. He writes really good stuff. He only writes once a day. He pretty much breaks all the rules. He only writes once a day, and he'll get 10 or 12,000 visitors every day. Wow, that's a lot just by writing once a day. Holy cow. But it took him 8 years. So if you want to take 8 years to get 10,000 people to your website, then you can just write at whatever pace you want. But if you want to get people to show up sooner than later, you just have to increase the volume of what you want to write. You're going to update it daily. In fact, you're going to update your website multiple times daily. If you're not updating your website multiple times daily, there's a fact like websites get updated multiple times a day, get almost it's 2.6, get almost 3 times as many leads as the people who just update their websites once a day or just sometimes. So multiple times daily equals more traffic, more search traffic, and that's what you want. You don't want push traffic. You don't want to push people around. You don't want to stumble up on a Reddit and say, find me, find me. You want to write really good stuff. People put it in the search engine box and come looking for you. That's where the goal is. All right, that's all I have. Thanks for being here. For those who left early, or if you have to leave early, these things get recorded. You can listen to the recording at any time. I'm glad to have you here. Hey, there's more people. Rich, Christine, you guys are great. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next week.